You know, everybody asks me if this film is autobiographical, but it's not my biography, you know? It's the biography of every kid that grows up in these neighborhoods and has a hardship figuring out where their life is gonna lead them. If you think about America today, sometimes we forget about these fringe neighborhoods that are so replete with violence and all these obstacles. And I grew up in one of these neighborhoods, and I saw these kids, and I saw these stories, and it's their biography. I had to tell them. Working with Andrew Cisneros, I gotta tell you, this is his first feature, and it really felt like I was working with a seasoned professional. Andrew has so much talent. He wrote the music for the movie. He worked with me on the character. I moved him out to the Bronx, and we lived there for like 3 months prior to the movie. You know, he's Mexican from LA. You know, a lot of people think there's these differences between Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Cubans, and it just didn't matter. His struggle, his story in Los Angeles was so like the stories that I was telling in New York. It's just an American family story. It's not any one regional story. And Andrew had so much depth. Every time I asked for something, he gave it to me. I pushed him really, really hard. I really did. And he always delivered. Wow, working with Jenna, what can I say? She's amazing. I think she was great. I love the fact that she is not from his neighborhood, you know, that the character opens Jay's eyes to so many other horizons. Often when you live within your little insular world, you don't think that there's more out there for you. And she just brings this real strong woman that's working and keeping it together, and is really, just by being herself, is the catalyst of change, you know, for Jay. And I think Jenna just portrayed that so well. You know, she just came into a really honest, real honest performances that I think just resonate with the story. I mean, I couldn't even believe that Nestor Serrano wanted to do my film, you know? It was like, wow. He was another person who really had an insight. Him and Julie Carmen. They really had an understanding of what this film could be. You know, a lot of times people look at the film and think it's like, you know, these kids fighting in the streets film, but it isn't. It's a family film, you know? It's a film about an American family. And Nestor and Julie really dissected the script that way. And Nestor would always come to me and be like, you know, listen, I'm not gonna scream here. I'm gonna talk, this is the way I would talk to my kids. And I remember growing up in these streets, and I'm gonna do this. And, you know, he plays a doorman in the movie, and he does it with such pride. And he is that character. When you work with people that talented, you learn from them all the time, and it really becomes a collaborative effort. Hats off to Andrew Cisneros and Grass Anatomy, his band. They scored probably 90% of the movie. When he performed Waterfall for us, which he actually did at the audition, that was his song. I noticed that there was a different depth to Andrew, singer-songwriter, you know? And I think out of his experience in the Bronx and filming the movie, those songs basically took life. It's so good to do it that way, because the music is not an afterthought. The music is part of the process. I don't think budget was ever a concern for us, because we didn't have a budget, you know? We were so ambitious with the picture that we just went at it, you know? We just went at it. We wanted to shoot in Grand Central, and they turned us down because we didn't have everything that we needed, and we wrote a scene to replace that scene in Grand Central that I think is a better scene, you know? So a lot of time having those limitations forces you to look for more creative solutions, and I think with what we had, we could tell that story. You know, while we were filming in the Bronx, this is a sad story. There was a young man called Raekwon Story, and he was taking the 5 train, which is the same train we took to work every day at the Bronx. He had been at a party the night before where he got in like verbal altercation with some guys. They came on the train that day, they saw him, and they shot him dead. 3 of his friends were wounded, and he was killed. I mean, this was last year. This is very recent. It's not 1970s New York. Long after Disney put a store in Times Square, there's still all this stuff going on in Manhattan and in the boroughs. I figure there's so many people there that amidst all of that still have dreams and fall in love and get married and raise families and have good, positive lives. I wanted to tell the story of their struggle, you know, so yeah, it's their biography.